to celebrate, to brag about the achievements, the historical significance of people who are considered Black, considered of African descent, Canadian, American, Caribbean, African, however you put, whatever category you put yourself in, this is our month to celebrate us. We recognize the past, recognize what we have been through as a people. We remember those who sacrificed their lives to give us our freedom of today. And we want to celebrate those who are achieving and making history every day as we go day by day. Yesterday is now history, and we are working towards a better future. And we use February to engage together as a city, as a nation, as human beings.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to chat with you a little bit more about what kinds of things are going on in Winnipeg, because it's all month long, so I'm sure it's pretty full of things.
It is. I like to make the initial statement that February may be Black History Month, but Black history is celebrated 365 days a year. We continue to make progress as a nation, and by having Black History Month as the staple to kick off, for lack of a better word, the recognition, and to use those 28 days to celebrate. We also want to make sure that we're educating each other all through the year. So we have a lot going on in February, but we also have things that end up happening outside of February, which we're really proud of. And we should be proud of as a city, that we keep growing and doing more and acknowledging the fact that Black history should not only be celebrated in February. So we really appreciate that from a city standpoint, and we should be very proud. Of course, last night we had our kickoff, which was fantastic. We had a wonderful participative audience. I feel sorry because we didn't realize we capped at 100, and we shouldn't have. but that was a technical issue on our part, so we apologize. But it is available on our YouTube and our Facebook if those who missed it. But it was really great to see all of our city officials taking part, and the community organizations that took part. It just was such a wonderful evening of joy and a recognition, and it's just a great way to start off the month. So we are going to continue on with some great education. We're doing a trivia night with our friends from Non-Trivial Trivia, and our trivia topic this year is Black inventors. So it's an opportunity for you to get your family and friends together and have a great friendly competition and learn some wonderful history about those who have created things that we use today that we never even thought of, that are made and invented by our counterparts. So that's on February 4th, which is Friday. It is a virtual event, 7 p.m. You can get more information on our website. And then we go to one of our most famous contributions, I guess you would say, the food. We are going to have a curbside pickup luncheon, with the funds going to support the Jamaican Association of Manitoba. So it's a $15 meal. You get your jerk chicken, your rice and peas, and all the fixings. Your drink is included. Everything is a pre-order. You can again go on our website, bhmwinnipeg.com, to get event information and buy your tickets. So you pre-order your tickets. If you need to get a vegetarian option, you can call and get that, or send us an email, and we have a vegetarian option for those who need it. And then everything else you pre-order, you can come and pick up between 1:30 and 4:30, and you don't even have to leave the comfort of your car. We will bring it to you. So it's a really great event. We are very proud of it. We want to thank MLA Audrey Gordon and TD Bank for sponsoring this year's event. It's a great way for us to celebrate and still stay safe.
Yeah. No, for each individual person, I think what it means to be Black is so different. I mean, Africa is massive, let alone everywhere else, and all of the other different individual experiences.
Right.
For you, when you see like this 1 month, what kinds of things pop up about cultural diversity in the Black community?
For February here in Winnipeg, because I've been doing this for quite some time, the growth is pretty amazing. The way that we associate Black in our society, it's just not so segregated anymore. It's the growth of the people have just expanded to so much more of a acceptance and a knowledge of wanting to know more, rather than have the ignorance of not understanding someone from a different background, a different religion, a different culture. There's so much more that we can learn from each other. And I think as we grow as a people, we start understanding that more, we start identifying that more, and we start looking at ourselves and saying, what are we doing to combat the racism, to combat the discrimination, to make those changes? And if we don't look at that, then we're very naive in our thinking that things are going to change without us doing that. So February in this city, as you can see, all the events that end up taking place, we're always doing something new. We're always expanding on what we have. Our partnerships grow, and we get different organizations, different businesses, and different people of all different backgrounds that just stop and say, you know what, I want to learn more, or I want to teach my children more. I want to know what's not being taught in our schools, what's being left out of our history books. All of those things make a difference to someone in some way, and we should be proud as a city as we continue to grow in that aspect.
What's that like for you to see Winnipeg at this point?
For me, I usually say to people that I was privileged, because when I grew up in the North End, and of course, we were probably one of the only Black families in the area that we grew up in, but we benefited because we had people from the Philippines on one side of us. We had Portuguese family on the other side of us. We had Indigenous families across the street. So, and we all played together. We all did everything the same, like there was no difference between us at all. The racist tendencies that people have, or the discrimination or the stigmatism that people have now, wasn't really a thing back then. You know, we played at each other's houses, we ate each other's foods, we learned about each other's cultures, just because we were friends and we were neighbors, and it was that kind of atmosphere as you grow up. When you get into the late teens and your early adult life, things change. People change. Your growth also causes more emotions and more realization of how harsh the world actually is. But you have to figure out how to maneuver your way through society. And if you're going to let all the negative people mold you into a person that you don't want to be, then you let them win. So you just have to understand that people are naive and people are negative, and some people just take the worst and build on it, and you can't be one of those people. So I've always tried to engage in all different aspects of life, and I love people. So I love giving back, I love volunteering, and that has definitely helped mold who I am and how my outlook is. That's not going to be the same for everyone, don't get me wrong. I'm not living in this bubble where it's like everybody's, unicorns and rainbows, but it's all in the way that you look at it and the way that you deal with it. and the way that you take challenges of the world on.
Mhm. Well, what do you hope, the average Winnipegger gets from this month?
I hope that the average Winnipegger learns something new. It's just a little concept that makes a huge difference. If you take into considerations, if you're working and a new computer program comes out, you got to figure it out in order for you to benefit in your job. Well, in order to benefit in life, learn something new about somebody, a culture, a religion, a race. It doesn't matter what you learn, but we're constantly learning. And it's hard to find hate in something that you are truly invested in. So if you take the time to invest your intelligence in somebody else's well-being, their emotional state, the way that they live their lives is like walking in somebody else's shoes. It makes a huge difference in the way that you look at the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with CHVN, obviously we're the Christian station, Classic 107, we're the classic station. I'm wondering if you know of any groups or anything that you think, deserve a bit of a highlight in these categories that we can chat with this month.
Oh, for sure. Like we've got, I like to highlight some of our young people because they're
Yeah, of course.
such a great big part of the way that we're growing as a community. I know that Wilfred Sam King Jr. has a group with the U of M, and if you go, I'll get that information if I don't have it right with me. Sorry. They're definitely their group is having an event. It's on our website, so you can check it there. But we try to connect with a lot of different organizations as much as we can. We have a great relationship with the Afro-Caribbean Council of Manitoba, with the ACOMI and the Congress of Black Women. Those are all different Black organizations that we connect with every month. We also have programming with Manitoba Museum, which is another one of those places that looked at themselves and internalized what they were doing and realized that we are not benefiting the city or the province by not including a huge chunk of Canadian history. So we applaud Anya and her team over there at the Manitoba Museum for reaching out to us and confirming that they needed to change, and they're growing and doing a lot of different programming to touch on all different histories, whether it's Black history, Asian history, African history, Indigenous history, all of those things. So I applaud them for taking such a huge effort to make those changes. And that's all it really is. If you have a chance to talk to Michael Young from Non-Trivial Trivia, he is just a fountain of information. and
makes sense.
He's amazing. the dedication that he has, and just it's the absorption of other people's lives that he just wants to suck up and know just how everything works and how we can learn from each other. He's an amazing person. He's one of I call him my COVID friend, because if it wasn't for COVID, we wouldn't have met.
Okay.
so it's really great to have people like that around, but he would be a wonderful person to have on and to chit chat with. He's got a great, and he will be having an event in February as well. So yeah, so people like that, I definitely say reach out to them, and I can give you his information, his contact information, if you'd like that too.
Yeah, I would love that if you don't mind.
Of course not.
All right. Well, thank you again for taking time to chat with me. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure as well. You have a fantastic day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.